Hello there, welcome back to this podcast called The Fruits of Virtue. It's about making the case for living a principle-centered life. We've been talking about several things the last few weeks that will change your life emotionally and spiritually. I gave you 5 different things, actually 4 things, today's number 5. The 4 things that we've covered so far is number 1, to develop a spiritual or religious practice. Number 2, develop a vision board with affirmations. 3, find an object that will help you to heal, something that will remind you or be a symbol of providing more hope and faith in your life. 4 was to journal. And today 5 is practicing being more compassionate to yourself and others. This is probably maybe the most important one as it comes to this deep change that we're looking for. The Dalai Lama said, if you want others to be happy, be compassionate. If you want to be happy, be compassionate. Think about that. There's a deep meaning there, isn't there? The message of the second great commandment is to love your neighbor as yourself. Well, what happens if you don't love yourself? Is it more difficult to love others? Let me ask you 2 questions that might get at that very idea. Do you treat yourself the way your best friend treats you? And number 2, do you treat your best friend better than you treat yourself? I think all of us since childhood, or maybe most of us if we're a little bit older, the emphasis was on loving and serving and helping other people, more on others versus self. And loving and being compassionate and being kind to others is a true principle, and it does make you feel better. But we also need to learn to love ourselves. Loving is like riding a bike, isn't it? It just takes practice. It will help you if you put on your vision board a picture of yourself with a couple of affirmations. One might be like this: I am lovable and worthwhile and valuable just as I am. Those are powerful words. If you see a picture of yourself and you say those things every day, that message will get inside and you'll begin to really truly believe it about yourself. So telling yourself will help you love yourself. Thinking loving thoughts about yourself will help you love yourself. And doing things that are loving towards yourself will help you love yourself. So telling, thinking, and doing will have a real big impact on your subconscious mind and your self-worth and the way you feel. Of course, there's 1,000 things that you can do for yourself. Do things that will make you feel good inside, that communicate to you that you're worthwhile, that you're valuable, that you're of worth. Think of things that feed you physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, relationally, and spiritually. When you think about it, there's many facets that make up our true self, isn't there? So we need to feed each one of those. Parents with young people at home, young children at home, are often the most taxed in terms of finding the energy to take care of themselves. So be creative. Ask your partner for support, for the individual time that you need to go for a walk, to take a long bath, to get a massage or whatever. Also, making quality time for intimacy and dating apart from the kids will build a reservoir of love one for another. Our kids are raised in our family, and so it takes less planning to take care of ourselves, to take the time for recreational reading, a power nap, working out, traveling, preparing meals that don't have to be prepared in a hurry. Back to the vision board. Establish about 10 goals on your vision board. Look at them daily. Visualizing them will ultimately bring them to pass, and you'll be ensuring that you are pursuing the goals that are important to you that will bring love into your life. And you'll be doing that in an intentional way. Now about showing love and compassion to others. I had a really surprising and impressive experience last week. My father had passed away, and so I was with my kids, and we were in a city, and we stopped by Trader Joe's to get something to eat. And the cashier was ringing up our items and was asking, how was your day going? And I said, I just buried my father. But we're really good because it's become a celebration of his life today. We're very upbeat that he's crossed over and he's with my mother, and he lived a very happy life. I don't know if he pushed some magic button behind the checkout stand, but we had just paid for items and began to turn to walk away when a young woman, an employee, walked up to us with a fresh bouquet of flowers. We smiled and thanked her profusely and left the store. I went on talking about that for about 10 minutes with my kids. Lifted up, happier than when we went in, and so impressed that a gesture of love could be delivered so graciously and so quickly. Do you think I'll go back to Trader Joe's again? In a heartbeat. I was already a loyal customer, but now my loyalty was ironclad. The point is, it's relatively easy to be nice and takes little effort. It just takes seeing and hearing and feeling people where they are. A smile from the cashier would have been enough. If they'd have just said, I'm sorry for your loss, that would have been impressive. But what they did was above and beyond. It brings up the question, can loving acts be part of corporate America? That's, of course, a question for another day, but I have an expert that will be joining me very soon to discuss this. You can plan a visit to an assisted living center to help the folks there, assist at a food bank or a soup kitchen, or visit the elderly or the shut-ins in your neighborhood, members of your own family and relatives in our circle that's in crisis or have some significant challenge. Most all of you know what I'm saying, but I promise you, if you'll do this, it will make you happy. You'll feel better. There's a site on the internet, justserve.org. This is found in all U.S. cities and will connect you to opportunities to serve in your area. If part of your vision board includes serving others, when you look at your vision board, you'll see it every day. When you're out and about, you'll recognize even more opportunities right before your eyes of people and situations that you can serve. I volunteered for a couple of years running a support group in a memory care center. I've also taught classes at a local food bank. They're very enjoyable to offer something to others that they can't do for themselves, information that they need, things that will empower them to live better lives. You can use skills that you already have or interests that you have to serve people right in your own area. One last story. It was during COVID. I was at a fast food restaurant with my father, and he was sitting at a table. He's elderly, and I was waiting in line, and of course spaced 6 feet apart as we were supposed to do as we're moving along. There was this really tall gentleman in line ahead of me. He wasn't wearing a mask. He was talking a lot. I think he was flirting with the woman behind the glass that was waiting on him, and it was starting to bug me, and I found myself judging him and wishing he would just get going and move along. As I got to the end of the line and went to the cashier to pay for my food, she said, "It's already covered." I says, "What?" She said, "It's been paid for." I said, "By whom?" She said, "The tall gentleman that was ahead of you." And by this point, he'd already left the store. I thought to myself, wow, there's some lessons here to learn today. Lessons with patience, with not judging, with being generous. And guess what? What he did made me want to do something good for the person behind me. So I paid it forward and paid for the person who's following me. I paid for their meal. Isn't it amazing how a little bit of good has a ripple effect, and it causes us to look inside and want to be our better selves? The motto for this podcast, The Fruits of Virtue, is be good, serve well, and feel great. I promise if you do that and look for opportunities to serve others as well as take care of yourself, you're going to feel great. I hope something in this message will move you in some way. Have a great day. Goodbye.